So the Battlefield 6 multiplayer has been revealed, and streamers and YouTubers have been able to play it and give their opinions on it. So they kind of did this sort of event thing where it's a LAN and they have a bunch of streamers sat at PCs having the ability to stream it and record gameplay. So you're probably going to see a lot more gameplay from streamers and stuff over the coming days from what they recorded already. Now, the event was incredible. Everything looked great on it, watching it. They really took into consideration the transitions and getting every minor detail perfected. Yeah, I think it was incredible. They're doing sort of like a Call of Duty event thing. I know Call of Duty does that now. They get a Call of Duty Next, which is an event they get a bunch of streamers in and they stream the gameplay, stuff like that. Now, it was incredible. It looks like a lot of streamers and a lot of Battlefield content creators are actually pretty happy with the game, so that's pretty cool. Now, the game has been announced, I think, for the 10th of October, which is probably a little bit before Call of Duty. They normally launch in November-ish time. Although they can launch in October, I think Modern Warfare 2019 launched in October before, so it launched quite early. Now the beta dates, the open beta and the early access dates have been revealed. The early access is from the 7th of August to the 8th of August, and the ways to get that is if you actually have played the Battlefield Labs playtest. I think you're eligible to actually play early access, and if you've pre-ordered it, and you can get keys or codes even from streamers who are playing the game as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you have it looks like anyone who's signed up to early will get early access to the open beta as well. You can also get early access by, of course, watching streamers. DICE says the current build of Battlefield 6 is ahead of Battlefield Labs version. I really hope, it's probably a beta version of maybe an early-ish beta version. I know looking at the Battlefield Labs gameplay, although let's be honest, that ship was leaked almost immediately. They said, we don't want it to be leaked and stuff like that. Yeah, it was leaked anyway. People have already seen a majority of the gameplay. Granted, it probably wasn't in the greatest quality, but it does look good. It looks good. Finally, we've been able to see some decent quality from streamers and not just some pixelated garbage that someone posted to try and avoid the copyright. The DICE lead producer David Serland says Battlefield 6 cosmetic skins will feel grounded and fit the universe. Finally, something to look forward to. Now, just looking at the trailers and the gameplay and everything like that, it genuinely looks like they actually care about the presentation of this game, and they aren't messing around anymore about how this game looks. They are wanting everything. It looks like they're actually finally realizing, oh shit, this is a Battlefield game, not a clown fest. Battlefield, that's what they're going back to actually remember what made Battlefield 3, 4, and 1 so legendary, and many people loved it. Battlefield 1, probably one of the most immersive Battlefields, I have to say. The fact that the screaming and everything, if you watch you can watch behind the scenes and stuff like that. They really nailed everything, and it looks like this game, they're doing the exact same thing. They're nailing it, and they realize the community actually wants a Battlefield that they love. And of course, it looks like they are taking this pretty seriously, and I really hope they do not mess this up, adding shitty skins. Call of Duty has lost its identity purely because it adds skins that really don't fit anything in the game. It's just a pure cash grab as some shitty promotion, and it's very obvious. Now, I'm not against this type of stuff. Like, fair enough, you add skins and stuff like that, but I'm not saying realism and stuff. I know that's a bit of a thing. Battlefield really isn't realistic in that sense. If we added realism, it would actually kill the game in sense. And a lot of people probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. So I don't know how many maps are going to go at launch. I think there was like 5 or 6 maps that were played today at the event. So at launch, it looks like there's going to be 8 game modes: Breakthrough, Conquest, Rush, Domination, Escalation, which is a new type of game mode, King of the Hill, Squad Deathmatch, and Team Deathmatch. Escalation, 2 teams fight to capture a strategic control point in order to extract their territory. First team to lock down these 3 objectives wins. So it's kind of like Operations in a way. We haven't seen Operations, or whatever they would call it. If you don't really know what Operations is, essentially it's 2 teams, one defending and one capturing, have to capture a certain amount of object, or at least this is how it was in Battlefield 1. They would capture an objective, and then they would advance once they captured all them, clear the enemies out, and then advance to the next flags. And they'd do that until they reached the end. And of course, they'd have multiple chances to do that. Once they'd have a certain amount of lives, tickets. Once them lives had dried up, they'd have another chance to actually attack. And once they did that, they would, lose. And I hope they bring something like that back. Maybe that's kind of closer to what Escalation is. I'm not too sure, which is pretty cool. So there's going to be 2 editions to Battlefield 6, it looks like. There's going to be a Standard Edition and a Phantom Edition. Both of these, the Standard Edition will be $69.99, and the Phantom Edition will be $99. And this will be only released on the PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox Series S and X. I know a few people complained and said they would like it on last gen, but I'm not going to lie, if you ever played Battlefield 2042 on last gen, yeah, you'd know it's not a great look. And I'm kind of glad they've moved on now to a different platform. They can now prioritize better things instead of actually wasting their time downgrading their game because they have to fit a system that in reality just can't take the amount of assets they want to add, which is a good thing. Now, of course, the editions that you have, so you get the full game and you get a Tombstone pack pre-purchase offer. You get this is what you get with the Phantom Edition: BF Pro token, Battle Pass plus 25 gear skips, exclusive unlocks and more, Phantom Squad 4 soldier skins, Shrouded weapon package, Drop Shadow weapon package, Glim melee weapon skin, Crimea vehicle skin, Death's Head weapon sticker, weapon charm and dog tag, Phantom XP boost set. So you get a bunch of that. No collector's edition, I don't think, which is, I guess, a bummer. But I don't really see a lot of games doing that anymore, which is fair enough. So there will be 9 maps at launch. I think some of these were available or played today at the event. Liberation Peak, Empire State, New Sobek City, Manhattan Bridge, Iberian Offensive, Mikrak Valley, even Siege of Carrigo, Saints of Quarter, Operation Firestorm as well. I think that kind of does look like it's from Battlefield 3, I could be wrong, which is pretty cool. And apparently they've gave a small sneak peek at the Battlefield 6's Battle Royale experience coming soon to Battlefield Labs. So I'm guessing you'll be able to sort of play test the Battle Royale first before they start to bring it in. Now again, Battle Royales, in my opinion, it's kind of the inevitable. It's what most games are doing now. It's basically free promotion, in other words. But I really hope if they are going to add a Battle Royale, they actually crack down on the cheaters, because Call of Duty clearly isn't doing that, and many other Battle Royales aren't as well. But, I know they just added a bunch of anti-cheats to Battlefield 1 and a few other older games and older titles, which is cool. It's nice to know that they finally realized that's kind of become a pretty big problem on the older games. So I'm presuming this game will probably run a very similar anti-cheat in sense. But yes, the Battle Royale needs to be an anti-cheat straight away. And they need to focus on that as well, because they don't want to kill that thing. That's kind of their free promotion and their ticket to get new people in. And hopefully they might end up buying Battlefield. And they've brought the classic class system as well, which I'm glad. That's one thing that made Battlefield, you had assault, medic, heavy, or support, I guess, support, and then scout, sniper class as well. So, of course, each sort of played a role. Your assault was more getting in there, get your hands on something and do some shit. Cause as much damage as possible. The medic, of course, rushing in, reviving people. Of course, that's kind of a meme within Battlefield now, isn't it? That medics don't really get you up. And yeah, most of the part they don't, although it's pretty easy to end up dying. Then again, you chose that role at the end of the day, so that's the risk you should take. Of course, you've got support as well. They have the ability to drop ammo and stuff like that. And then you have scout or sniper class. And of course, they have the ability to sort of give cover and just pick people off, camping in one spot. So it looks like Portal returns to Battlefield 6 with a new version that will let creators use uploaded toolset that features editing tools to create wider experiences. The Spatial editor powered by Godot lets you edit player spaces of existing maps and elements with ability to move some objects around and create unique UIs and script NPCs' behavior with AI scripting tools. Portal will also add modifiers to allow players to set up hardcore rule sets with one-shot kills, close weapons, and so much more, all with full progression and XP gain. It's coming along with Battlefield 6 on October the 10th. Now, I don't know if that will be PC only, that has the ability to do that or not. I'm not too sure. I would presume the console version can actually do that as well, because that would kind of be weird just leaving one part out. We'll have to see. That's kind of cool. I know Portal was kind of neglected in a way in Battlefield 2042. It was kind of revealed as this great thing, and it kind of was. There was some fun custom game modes, but most of the time it genuinely didn't work very well, and I didn't find many games on it. There were a few realism servers that people set up, but majority of the time it was quite dead. There was not many people playing on it at all, which kind of got boring, and well, I didn't really play at Portal because of that. But I really hope they do focus on Portal and make it a lot better this time, which is good. This is what we need. DICE lead producer David Sirland has officially confirmed on the CNN that Battlefield will lock weapon to classes in the open beta and at launch. If you don't like this system, both styles, lock and open weapons, will make it into the launch regardless of how the beta goes. It's not like this is a test where whatever you play is more will choose. We will support both. That's pretty cool. I got to understand that. At least they've got one in and they appreciate both people's opinions, which is cool. Battlefield 6 will have a server browser through Portal. Battlefield 6 will allow you to browse and create servers through Portal. These options will be easily accessible. I don't think Battlefield 2042 had a server browser apart from the Portal, which is kind of annoying in my opinion. So it was kind of hard to find a server that you wanted. That's kind of the staple of a Battlefield, having a server browser, kind of selecting a server. And it helps as well when the game dies or when it declines a lot and a lot less people. You want to try and find a game on Battlefield 1, for instance. You're not really going to find one if you just click on the main thing and, click on find a random match. It'll put you in a match that's empty. But if you go to the server browser, you can streamline your search and you can find a match a lot more quicker and a lot more easier and realize it's not actually dead. It's just the game tricking you into thinking that. But everything is looking pretty cool. And I actually think this might be back. Battlefield actually might be back with this one. It looks like they're actually thinking about taking this pretty seriously, and by how they're acting and everything, it looks like they actually are taking this extremely, extremely seriously. And I really, really hope that they don't mess around with this and they just get down nitty-gritty and realize that, yes, this is what we want Battlefield to look like. No shitty skins. I don't mind a Battle Royale. If they had a Battle Royale, that's fair enough. As long as it's not just some cheap-ass copy of Warzone and they actually do some decent stuff with it and it has destruction, I think that would be a pretty cool thing. The finals is probably, that's kind of a Battle Royale type of thing. That's kind of been known for having incredible destruction. Battlefield having destruction in a battle royale probably wouldn't be the first, but wow, if they can bring it on a scale like that, that would be pretty cool in my opinion. I do think at the end of the day, though, we need to play the beta. You can't really judge something off of someone else playing the game. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. I'd recommend you playing it, getting to grips with understanding things and how things work before you actually start to commit and be like, okay, I'm going to either pre-order this game or buy it when it comes out. You know, don't just fall for the propaganda of YouTubers and stuff. They're probably going to say it's good and stuff like that because, well, EA have invited them out at the end of the day and they don't really want to disrespect or ruin their chance of ever having another time to get out to one of these events. I think at the end of the day, it's pretty cool that they're doing events like this, and hopefully Battlefield Labs becomes quite a staple for future Battlefields as well, because I think while yes, they couldn't really stop people ultimately leaking gameplay, I think they did take down a very large majority of it, but a lot of it just slipped through the cracks and they couldn't manage it all, which is kind of unfortunate, but in a way that's kind of what you expect when you let people remote playtest your game like that. It's the risk you take in a sense, and I mean a bunch of people signed up for, I think it was like 1 million in a queue for this Battlefield. I'm sure more people signed up for it when it came to, so I'm guessing a bunch of people will probably get early access to this thing as well. But yeah, the beta looks like it's spread over quite some days. The early access is only 2 days or so, and then most of the rest, so majority of it looks like it's an open beta. So it looks like the pre-ordering thing isn't really a campaign strategy as much anymore as it used to be, with many games opting and be like, pre-order this game, you know, to get early access to this, which is pretty cool. But I like how they're taking it seriously and they're not really messing around with it anymore. Battlefield might actually be back with this. The maps look great. Everything looks great on it, the weapons. Now, I don't know in the beta if you're going to be able to use all the weapons, or I'm presuming it's going to be a majority, obviously not every weapon in the game. I don't know if you'll have to unlock them and unlock the attachments and stuff like that, or you'll just be able to play with any gun to sort of get you as a feel with the guns right away. I'm not too sure. I think that was actually the case in Battlefield Labs. You had all the stuff unlocked for you, so it was just there to work with, which is pretty cool. So I will have to see what that happens. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Battlefield. It might be back. I know that might not be a great thing to say, but it might be back.